Welcome to another week of lockdown learning. You are doing amazingly well, okay? And this week I'm going to show you some statues and I'm also going to show you some sound experiments. Sound travels as vibrations through the air and they reach your ear, and there's some really delicate skin in your ear. Actually, you can take a photograph of your ear with a mobile phone and have a look at what it really looks like. And then those vibrations, they reach your ear, the delicate skin, and then it sends messages to your brain, and then your brain interprets those sounds. Now, I'm going to show you a bit about how those vibrations work with regard to pitch. And pitch is about sounds that are really low and then sounds that are really high, okay, and that's all to do with pitch. And if you play a musical instrument, or you'll probably have come across pitch before, because if you play a violin you have to tune the violin, and with the piano you probably have to have a piano tune around. I've got a piano here, I'll show it to you later, and I've got a tuning fork for middle C, and occasionally I have to have someone round to tune up the piano. So I'm going to show you a bit about this. So these are going to be water chimes. And for this you need, I would say 6 glasses, but just use what you've got. Now remember, always ask, and remember health and safety with glass. Yeah, do ask for help when you're doing this, because you don't want to hurt yourself on broken glass or anything like that. Now I've got 6 glasses and I've got them all the same. I'm amazed that I've actually got 6 glasses. And I'm amazed that I've actually got 6 glasses that are the same. But there you go. But you might have glasses that are slightly different shapes and sizes, but don't worry about it. Just have a little investigation and see what happens. So, and I've got a little spoon and I've got a jug of water. Now, before I do anything, I'm going to go along, I'm just going to tap. Now, those are all the same pitch, all right? There isn't any difference. They all sound at the same kind of pitch. Now, I'm going to get my jug of water and I'm going to fill the glasses with different amounts of water. Now that one, look, I've done slightly more. Slightly more, got slightly more, slightly more, right, okay, that's looking quite good. I think we will see. I want them to be really different, okay, so I'm just going to make sure that that one's slightly, and I'm going to adjust this one slightly more, okay, because I really want to have different levels. In fact, I'm going to take a little bit out of that one that I really want to show. Now you can see the levels in these glasses are all really different, okay? Right, and you could even be a little bit more mathematical, a little bit more systematic about it. You could, sort of measure, yeah, and really control it. Right, let's have a look. Let's see. Now, you might want to make a bit of a prediction beforehand. Now, which one do you think is going to sound the lowest, have a low pitch? Which one do you think is going to have a really high pitch, all right? You might want to have a quick jot down of what that is, all right? Or pause the video. Okay, so I'm going to play the first one. Oh, right, okay, I'll play them again. You might even want to play a tune. Right, water chimes. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the background. So, this one has got the most mass, it's got the most water in it. And remember, mass is the amount of stuff something has in it. Now, if it's got more water in it, when the glass vibrates, it sends vibrations through the water, yeah? And the vibrations, they are going to travel slower through the water because it's got more water to go through. Now, if I play this one, now that one is much higher. There we go. This one has got a higher pitch, and that's because it's got less mass. There's less water in here. And so when I play the glass, it vibrates or shakes. There's little shakes that you can't see, yeah? And the vibrations can go really quickly because there isn't very much water, yeah? And then if I play one that's kind of, these two are in the middle. There's a difference, isn't there? Because this one is lower because it's got more mass than this one. So in this one, the vibrations travel slower through the water. And in this one, they're going to be slightly quicker, so the pitch is higher, okay? Really have a little play with this because it's really good. But please don't break any glasses, okay? Not the best glasses for this one, all right? Get the cheap and cheerful ones. Right, my piano playing is really, really bad. And also I know my piano needs tuning. So we're talking about pitch. Now, this is middle C on the piano, and this is a tuning fork which has got middle C written on it. Now some of you play instruments, you have to tune violins and cellos and guitars and stuff like that. And I'm just going to see if my middle C, if it's the same pitch as this tuning fork. Let's see. In a minute, I want you to have a little look around your home for different things that have got different kind of qualities of material. This is my bicycle pump, and this bit is metal, and this bit is plastic, and this bit at the end is rubber, okay? I've got three potential different sounds, and I've got a nice wrought iron railing, I'm pleased to say. It is painted, so that might change the sound. You're going to have to make sure that the thing you're testing on is the same. Okay, so you're going to have to control the variables. So you've got to keep one thing the same, yeah, and then you can change the other things to make your test fair. Yeah, so I've chosen these iron railings as my control, okay, and then I've got the different things that I'm going to test. All right, now I've always got the world in my hand. Now this is a rubber spongy ball, and I'm going to make a prediction. I do not think it's going to make a big sound. It is going to make a sound, but not a big sound. Yeah, that sound is what I would describe as quite a dead sound. Okay, it's not a loud sound. Now, I've also got a packet of tissues, and these are soft, and I know they absorb stuff because when you blow your nose, they absorb stuff, don't they? They absorb liquid. I am going to predict, I think this is going to be quite a kind of subdued, dead kind of sound. I'm going to try it on my railings again. Remember, my railings are my control. I'm surprised. Yeah, it's a little bit higher, and it was a little bit crunchy as well. Listen to that. I do have some money. Right, okay, look. I've got some coins here. Okay. So, 50p, okay. Now, we know that's a metal. Metal on metal. Let's see. I've got to try and hit the things with the same force, yeah? And that is quite difficult. So you've got to kind of really judge. So remember I said, you're not whacking it against the table. Please don't do that. Yeah, you're just tapping, and try and do it the same for each one that you do. Sorry, I'm not showing you very well. It's all about the material And I think it's about the particles. You know, we did solids, liquids and gases, year fours. It's about the particles and things. And you know that a solid, the particles are really tightly together and they can't move. This is a piece of wood, okay? Yeah. It's kind of got a bit of a ringy tone, but it's quite dull. It's actually a dull sound, just like the foam ball and the tissue. This is actually a headband from the 1980s. I'm not going to wear it. And this, right, I'm going to try this. Okay, now I'm going to let you into a secret about this hairband because it is fabric, but inside, I'm going to say this hairband is so good. Inside, it's got like a coat hanger. It's got a coat hanger and you can twist it into loads of things. And when I put it on here, you can hear, yeah, you can hear the metal inside the fabric. So hopefully you've been around your house, you've used a control object that you're going to look for high pitch and low pitch things with. And say my control was a spoon, I would use this spoon to test all my objects, okay? So I might test this table, okay? All right, or I might test this candle. Oh, that's a high pitch. Oh, that's a low pitch. I'm using the spoon as my control, but I'm changing the things that I'm testing. Now, you might want to record that in some way, and that's how I've recorded it. I've just done a little table, high pitch, low pitch, and I've written down the things, and I've tried to say what those things are made of. So I've got glass, that's a glass candle, plastic handle, that was actually on the door here, I did the plastic handle here. Bicycle bell, that's outside. I had a metal lampshade actually just over there, that was very, very resonant actually. And then I had low pitch was the table. I had a cork drinks mat. That's it. I had a cork. That was low, like low, dull kind of sound. And I sorted it. So I kind of know about pitch now. So I just want to show you a couple of other interesting things. And this one, this looks quite strange. I'm going to have to take my glasses off for this. This looks quite strange. People will move away from you when they see you doing this. You get a piece of string, okay, doesn't have to be that long, and you put it round the back of your head, and then make sure that that goes over your ears there, and that the other side goes over your ears here. And pull it to the front, and this is all about tension, this. Now you're not going to hear anything, but I am going to hear something. When I pull it, it's really tense. Now I can hear a sound really loudly in my ears. So you're going to have to try this. You just need string, and you can muck about with the tension. You can make it very tense, or you can release it a bit so it's a bit looser. And you will find that there are some high pitch and low pitch, and you might want to make a prediction about when you think that's going to happen. Is it going to be when the string is more slack, or is it going to be when the string is really tight? Which one's going to be higher? Which one's going to be a lower pitch? So you can kind of investigate that. The other thing I've got, this one's really nice. So I've got a metal spoon, and what I'm going to do this, I've got my string, and have it roughly so you've got a midpoint halfway, and then wrap the string around the spoon just like I'm doing, and then make a knot. So just tie the ends. It doesn't have to be, you know, I'm just tying it like that, okay? Now again, you're not going to hear this. You get your thumbs or your fingers, I'm going to use my thumbs, and then the soft bit, you just have to put it there on your ear, yeah? and there, and this is like making my own speaker. And then tap it on a table or something like, not a glass table, please. Make sure it's and make sure you ask your parents first, but just gently as well. Oh, now I can hear the most beautiful bell type of ringing sound. Okay, and you'll be able to hear that as well if you do it. You just remember that that's what it needs to look like. Okay, so you put that bit on your ear there, and then there, and then get it to swing, and you get a really resonance, yeah? All those vibrations, because you know, sound, it travels in waves and it's vibrations. Now, I've got another thing to show you. Oh, and also with that, you might want to investigate maybe with a little teaspoon. Does the sound change? Yeah, just make sure that it's metal, and don't do a fork, because I'm really worried about you piercing that bit. So, yeah, do something that's not sharp, no knives or anything like that. Stay to spoons. The other thing is, I've got some elastic bands. I've only got one thickness of elastic band, but you might have, you know, different thicknesses. You might have some really thick ones and thin ones. You can make your own little guitar. Oh, thinking about pitch. So I found an old yogurt pot. I've got the same thickness of elastic band, but listen to this. Oh, there's a change in pitch. That's definitely lower. So why do you think that there's a change in pitch? Is it to do with the materials? Got plastic pot. That's plastic as well. Is it to do with the width of the opening? Is it because that's bigger? Okay, you want to think about these things. Now the other thing I've drunk that Diet Coke. That was very nice. Now this is, I think it's aluminium actually. These are made of. Anyway, it's a very light material. And what I've done is I've put the elastic band just over the hole, and there's a tiny hole there. Now listen to this. See, that's different. Oops. Right, let's play this one again. Quite a big difference in pitch, yeah? So you should know quite a bit about pitch now. I'm just going to show you a little thing about loudness, because loudness is different from pitch. Pitch is to do with things that are sounding low, and then high pitch is things that are sounding high. I'm going to talk to you a bit about loudness, which is another word called amplitude. And I just want to show you this little piece of paper that I've put together here. I'm sorry, it's written on the back of a poem. But here I've got, now this shows, this bit here, now that is low amplitude. And low amplitude is something that is quite quiet. And these rustling leaves are low amplitude, okay? And, you know, proper scientists, and you're all proper scientists, they draw amplitude like that. And they measure it, they measure from here to measure the amplitude. Now, if we were in school, we'd be doing all this on data loggers and recording loudness of things, but we can't do that. So we've got to do a bit of guesswork, okay? Then for the middle one, I've been desperately looking for my little car, but I can't find it. So a higher amplitude, so that would be things like traffic outside, so that would be a bit higher. And then very high amplitude would be something like, you know, we did about Elon Musk's SpaceX, you know, or Apollo 11, do you remember that? That would be very high, very loud noise, okay? And that would be high amplitude, all right? So remember that amplitude is to do with volume and how loudness, okay? And then pitch is to do with low sounds and high sounds and the sounds in between as well, all right? So I hope there's a few little experiments that you can do, and I hope you enjoy that this week. So I've come for a cycle in the woods today, beautiful morning, and I'm going to show you a castle in the woods in a moment. Getting lost in this wood. I think the castle is quite near. Just going to come through here a bit. And Shooters Hill, this castle is up at Shooters Hill, and it's called Sevendrug Castle, and it's named after an area in East India where there was a battle. And this castle, it was built in about 1750, and it was built to commemorate the Commodore. And the East India Company was not a very nice company because it was trying to take over the colonies of the French and the Portuguese. You know, I told you about British Empire, the Second British Empire last week, and Yonki Shonibar and Nelson's. Well, the East India Company, they were doing really nasty things in India. Anyway, I'm going to turn round and I'm going to show you this castle. Right, it's quite grand, and from the top you can see 7 different counties from the top, and fortunately it doesn't belong to the East India Company anymore. It's now a community cafe. I found a nice log to sit on. So remember the word colonialism that I told you about last week, and also about empire. So empire is when a country takes over the resources and the people and their money without asking, and just because they have the power, okay? And you might have seen on the news lots of things about statues being taken down. Some councils have decided to take the statues down, and there have also been some protests in London and all around the world about Black Lives Matter. Now, I am sitting outside Sevendrug Castle, and the person that this castle was built to commemorate was a person who was connected with the East India Company. And in the first British Empire, which ended just after the American War of Independence, the first British Empire and the second British Empire had companies that traded resources like sugar and tobacco, that's about cigarettes, it used to be very popular smoking, tea, coffee, and they were called things like the East India Company. And there was also another company in the first called the South Seas, I think it was, British Company, and that company sold people. And when you trade people, that's called slavery. I'm at the Houses of Parliament. Oh, bundles of decisions going on here. And here is Mahatma Gandhi, and he was a wonderful leader in India, and he was really responsible for, you know, India breaking away from the British Empire peacefully. You know, he can give us all a little masterclass in peaceful protest, which is you know, something to really recognise and celebrate. I'm really pleased that he's here right in front of the Houses of Parliament. You've got the House of Commons inside, and you've got the House of Lords inside. And in the House of Lords it's all red seats, and in the House of Commons, you might have seen it on the telly, it's all green seats. Yeah, in a moment I'm going to introduce you to a woman who was really important in the suffragette movement, and she was the leader of it. When she was around in the late Victorian period, women didn't have the vote. You weren't allowed to vote, only men could do that. Here is Millicent Garrett Fawcett. And she was amazing. She was around late Victorian times and then early Edwardian, and I absolutely love the slogan that she is holding up about courage, because oh wow, all of you, you've really shown some courage over these last few weeks.